Hey guys, season 1 of The Lincoln Lawyer was awesome, so we are ready to dive straight into season 2, episode 1.
Hi, law offices, please hold.
The price of success, Lorna. Just tell me where I need to be.
Okay, you have the Ortiz sentencing.
He fixed his knot.
Status conference on Daryl Pickens, and that
Yes, that is a good season 2 development. He actually has a Windsor knot. It's a triangle. It looks right. It's isosceles. That's what you want. That lopsided crap is gone.
I'm fine. I'm not gonna let a little press go to my head, all right?
This week on The Lead with Jake Tapper, we'll be talking with the Lincoln Lawyer himself, Mickey Holler, about...
Fun is that to make him look like the man, right? They're playing I'm the man in the background there, the music and everything. To make him look like that, am I the only one that noticed this suit, the tie, the hanky combo? This guy now looks like Harvey Specter from Suits, right? Last season, he looked like his own thing. His knot was a little lopsided. I kept criticizing that. Now, literally, they're like, okay, how do we make him look super successful? And he's dressed almost exactly like Harvey Specter. Anyway, just saying, maybe that's just what a successful lawyer looks like to most people. Yeah, anyway. Looks good, though. Good suit.
Say I'm sorry and pay for the window?
No. Fortunately, it's a little more than that. They're charging you with felony burglary. If you get convicted, it can mean 6 years.
6 years?
All right, well, one step at a time, okay? Now, the house you were arrested in seems like it's just down the street from yours. Have you ever been there before?
No, I don't even...
Common law burglary, you actually had to break and enter the dwelling house of another with the intent to commit a felony therein, right? Modern burglary, they have way simplified it, and they've put different levels of burglary. So you can have felony burglary that's actually a low-level felony, and you can have felony burglary that's actually quite high. In this case, it didn't sound like he had the intention to commit a felony therein, but they might have tried to stick him with something else along the way, too. I don't know. He went in and took his pants off. Maybe they would have said, oh, you were intending to commit a sexual assault therein, and therefore burglary. If you broke into somebody's house and punched him in the face, tend to commit a felony therein. Also would be aggravated assault because you entered the dwelling house of another first. So pretty bad, but you know, a lot of people, you hear those things, you hear burglary and you're like, wow, he broke into somebody's house and stole all their stuff. Doesn't have to be. The laws have been changed, and what we thought of once as these particular crimes, it's not the same anymore. And it's a lot easier to get charged with a felony than people think.
You need a lawyer.
Did she just sleep with this guy so that she could get his help on her
They're
restaurant,
good, they're expensive.
saving the neighborhood?
I'm overextended as it is.
Let me see if I can get somebody to cut you a break. Listen, I really need to go now, but is it okay if I call you?
You know where to find me. And you gave me your business card, so.
I really am out of practice, huh? All right. Okay. Thank you for your breakfast.
Anytime.
Those are the rules of professional conduct. So speaking of such, if he had represented her in any capacity, if she had come to him with this problem, they could not have a relationship after that. You can only have a relationship of this sort with somebody that you already had a pre-existing relationship with. You can't represent somebody and then start a relationship from there. There are some exceptions to the rule, you know, oh, well, if the representation is already concluded and then there's been, I think some states have like a certain period of time or something like that. Doesn't matter. That's just strictly, for all intents and purposes, don't do it. So interesting that it went down that way, and I'm kind of wondering if that's where they're going with it.
The company issued a statement saying, "We are committed to developing fair and equitable housing for all Angelinos."
I mean, can he really get a restraining order because of that?
No, not as long as you're not threatening him or trespassing on his property. You're in luck.
How so?
I told you I don't do real estate law, but TRO, that's right in my wheelhouse.
Wait, so you'll represent me?
Why not?
I can pay you. It might take a while, but
All right, just make me some more of that pozole. All right, we're good.
That's a good trade. So just interesting fact, a lot of times I harp on legal dramas because they will make attorneys just practice everything, right? No matter what you need them to do, they're like, well, I can help out in just this case. But this TRO, here we call it an order of protection. All right, I harp on legal dramas a lot because they want attorneys to just practice every area. And, no matter what you bring to him, it's a criminal attorney. And he'll also do some family law and some corporate stuff and some contracts, whatever. Okay, in this case, he's saying, oh, TRO, that's right up my alley. Actually, it's civil, and he's a criminal attorney, but here in Arizona, we call them orders of protection or injunctions against harassment, depending on if you have a relationship with the person that you're trying to get the order against. Okay, here, to have either a family law attorney or a criminal defense attorney like me to work on one of those is very common because they come up in those cases all the time. If you're a family law attorney, you're going to see orders of protection because that's the kind you have a relationship with, right? And say, soon-to-be ex-spouse is filing against the other ex-spouse, and the other one will file one because they hate him, and anyway. So it comes up in family law. In criminal, obviously it comes up there too. Somebody comes up to you on your property and they punched you in the face. Not only do you want them prosecuted, you also want to make sure they can't ever come back to your property again. So there's not just a criminal charge, there's also an injunction against harassment from the neighbor or whoever it is. So in this case, once again, pretty legit.
Ni una palabra. Are you arresting my client?
Not right at this moment. No.
And this interview is over. Let's go.
Now.
They can do that. He's there voluntarily. He can leave voluntarily. He's not under arrest.
Why didn't you tell me about this?
Because I knew how guilty it made me look. Figure if the cops didn't know, it didn't matter.
It always matters, Jesus.
Well, I need you to believe me. ¿Sabes qué?
It's the one thing that defendants always misunderstand. You don't need your attorney to believe you, although it is important. The most important thing is that they know what actually happened. Because when these facts ambush them later, it only serves to make things look even worse than they actually are. Because then they have a client that may be guilty and lied on top of it. It's never a good thing. Be honest with your attorney. They can't tell anybody anyway. And so, if you're honest with them, straightforward, give them the whole truth, always the best thing to do.
Your Honor, I don't think we need to waste any more of the court's valuable time today.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you back to processing now.
Like 9,000-year-old judge. You have a lot of those floating around, particularly judge pro tems, which means like a temporary judge or just like a judge that substitutes for somebody. For some reason, attorneys never retire. They pro tem. Or they'll say, oh, I'm going to partial retirement. I'm doing estate planning. It's like you're helping elder people because you are elder people now. I don't know why they do that, but we never fully retire. We die, but we don't ever fully retire. So this like 9,000-year-old judge right here that kind of looks like he barely knows what's happening around him, totally legit. And Your Honor, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I wasn't talking about you.
Responsibilities, doesn't it? Like the duty of confidentiality. That's the big one, right? That's the one where anything I say becomes our little secret and you can't tell anybody.
Taking his jacket
Especially
off to show
not
him he's the tattooed man.
the police.
Yup, there it is. Called it. All right.
So,
He intentionally created a
Here's our
conflict
little
of interest.
secret.
That's why it's called the rules of professional conduct. He represented this guy not knowing he had a conflict on his case. The conflict, of course, is that Jesus Mendez is looking for this guy. And now he's got sort of conflicting privilege, right? I mean, actually, it's not really conflicting in this case. He can't tell anybody, oh, the tattooed guy, I know exactly who that is. He can't tell anybody, the tattooed guy, I know exactly who that is, because he just found out in a confidential communication with somebody who is, in fact, his client. Creates a really interesting situation and a interesting legal argument moving forward from here to see, can you get around that, and if so, how? While I'm no expert on the rules of professional conduct, I can tell you that there is an exception, and it varies between states exactly what the wording is and how it'll work, and there's a ton of case law, but there is an exception for privilege if you use your attorney's services to perpetrate a fraud. My argument would be if I actually had to go and tell somebody about this guy, which I would want to do, is that he used my services because I represented him, to perpetrate a fraud against the state, to trick them into thinking I had committed a crime. I roofied myself to trick them into charging me with a crime that I hadn't actually committed. Problem is he did actually break into somebody else's house. So the fraud argument there might be kind of a weak one. Really, they have presented a really interesting legal question moving forward from here, and it'll be interesting to see how they try to get Mickey out of it. That is the end of season 2, episode 1. It started with Mickey getting jumped in the parking garage, and we still don't know why that happened. So I'm going to have to keep going on this. All right, go and check the Lincoln Lawyer playlist. We did all of season 1 already. Looking forward to season 2 and moving on from there, and we will see you next time.
Oh, I grow all my own herbs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Well, go ahead and cut me chasing a dadgum fruit fly from my face. Let's not include that. But go and check the all right. Okay, starting there.